In the near future, 8 gamers receive cryptic invitations to join a cutting-edge experience called The Call-Up, promising a $100,000 prize. They arrive at a sleek skyscraper and are directed to the 25th floor. Once gathered, a robotic voice instructs them to sign in using a tablet. They're then told to store all personal belongings and change into motion-tracking suits. As they suit up, Adam struggles with the tight fit and gets teased. Carl reveals a burn scar from a past trauma, and Andre shares that he's a former soldier. Once dressed, they enter a scanning chamber. The voice tells them to step onto the platform and speak their usernames aloud. Then, they're handed advanced gear, a suit and VR helmet that connects to their spines for full sensory immersion. Tech Adam assumed was reserved for the elite. Everyone gears up quickly except Zahid, a Bosnian Muslim who ironically chose the username terrorist, unaware it would be displayed on his suit. He's uncomfortable and tries to leave, but the exit is locked and no help arrives. The others convince him it's harmless, and he reluctantly agrees to continue. The voice announces the start of the training module. Helmets close, and the room morphs into a hyper-realistic post-apocalyptic setting. Their suits become military uniforms, and even their tattoos vanish. Despite the realism, their hands pass through simulated objects. Suddenly, a sergeant appears, barking orders like they're fresh recruits. He's untouchable, and lifting their helmets confirms he's just a lifelike NPC. The group follows him into another room to receive weapons, props in the real world. The sergeant instructs them to shoot bottles, and they're amazed by the realistic recoil. After some practice, he shoots 2 players, causing them to lose their protective vests. Since it's just a tutorial, the vests regenerate. He explains that one hit removes protection, and any further damage requires a serum injection. Each player gets only one. Their mission: eliminate hostile forces occupying the building and reach the ground floor alive. Survivors will receive the prize money in real life. After the sergeant vanishes, Andre takes charge, offering stealth tips. They explore the rooms until an enemy opens fire in the hallway. Most hide, but Andre reacts swiftly and takes him down. The voice confirms level 25 is complete and awards all points to Andre. They inspect the body. It's another NPC. Attempting the stairs triggers an electric shock mechanism, preventing exit until the level is cleared. They enter level 24 and discover upgraded weapons. Andre teaches them how to use them. In the main room, Marco eliminates the first enemy. Confidence builds, and players begin charging around, using random objects for cover and gunning down foes. Adam wastes all his ammo without hitting anything, so Andre steps in, takes the shot, and gets hit, losing his vest. Meanwhile, Taylor suffers a panic attack. She's not the original invitee, her friend was, but she came instead and can't handle the realism. Shelly comforts her, reminding her it's just a game, but when Shelly's turn comes, she freezes too. A terrorist approaches the girls but is shot by Carl, who then gets hit and loses his vest. Carl tries to surrender, but the enemy shoots again. Shelly rushes in and kills the attacker. Carl and Shelly lift their helmets, and Carl feels intense pain even outside the simulation. Andre uses his serum to heal Carl instantly. Carl, shaken, opens his helmet again to vomit and insists this can't be just a game. The group takes a break. Adam finds new weapons while Carl theorizes it's a reality show. Zahid panics, trying to remove his suit but fails. Marco suspects it's a test. Zahid suggests it might be a military experiment, and Marco agrees, suspecting Andre as a plant. Tensions rise, and Andre retreats to the bathroom to cool off. Unbeknownst to the group, the game continues and the enemies respawn. One corners Andre in the bathroom. He barely closes his helmet before being shot. He tries to heal but already used his serum on Carl. The others hear commotion and close their helmets. Edward is immediately shot. The group scrambles for cover. Taylor attempts the stairs but is blocked. The level isn't complete. Gunfire erupts. Edward uses his serum while Andre drags his wounded body through the halls. Adam throws a grenade, wiping out the remaining enemies. The level ends, and Adam earns the top score. With the gunfire gone, they hear Andre calling for help. He opens his helmet and hears a countdown. Then his brain is electrocuted. He convulses violently. By the time the others reach him, he's already dead. Shelly tries CPR, but it's too late. The voice says they may proceed to the next level, but the group is shaken. Blood on the floor confirms the helmet killed Andre. They try removing their own gear, but it's impossible. Zahid panics and grabs a fire extinguisher, asking for help with a test. Carl volunteers and hits him a few times, but the helmet stays on. Suddenly, the sergeant reappears, walking through Carl and kicking Zahid as punishment for breaking protocol. He warns of consequences for refusing to play, so the group continues. They progress through several levels with minimal resistance, but each floor introduces new weapons and mechanics. In one room, a gas leak disables firearms, forcing them to use knives. Taylor's anxiety worsens with the close-quarters combat. Shelley promises to get her out. As they descend, most players lose their vests. During a fierce shootout, Carl and Adam are both hit. Shelley and Marco rush to administer their serums. Hours later, the players take another break and realize it's now nighttime in the real world. Fatigue and frustration begin to set in. Desperate to escape, they start smashing various objects against the windows. Zahid manages to crack one using a heavy cart. Just then, the sergeant materializes again, this time more violent than ever. He launches into a brutal assault on Zahid, hitting him with far more force than before. Zahid tries to flee down the stairwell, but the sergeant kicks him hard, sending him tumbling. The fall shatters Zahid's leg. Before vanishing, the sergeant delivers a chilling warning: anyone else who attempts to escape will be executed. The group rushes to Zahid's side and realizes the injury is physical, not virtual, meaning the serum won't work. The system voice reminds them to keep moving. Zahid, in agony, begs them to hide him and continue without him. They gently place him behind a pile of furniture and leave. Minutes later, Zahid dies from blood loss. On the next level, tensions flare. Marco argues with the others over how to distribute the new weapons. While distracted, a hidden enemy shoots him in the backside. The team returns fire. Meanwhile, a terrorist enters the bathroom and starts checking each stall. Shelley hears the footsteps and bursts through the door, stabbing the enemy before he can reach Taylor. The level ends, and Edward earns the highest score, placing him at the top of the leaderboard. During a brief rest, the players open up about their personal lives. The sergeant interrogating a hostage. He reveals that a bomb is hidden in the basement and will detonate soon, killing everyone unless it's disarmed. The only way to stop it is to extract the code from the hostage. The man is wired to electric transmitters. Without hesitation, Edward begins electrocuting him. The hostage pleads for mercy, but Edward continues until the man finally utters a word. Adam inputs the word into the system, but instead of deactivating the bomb, it triggers it. A countdown begins. 30 minutes until detonation. As the sergeant disappears, the hostage laughs mockingly. Enraged, Taylor shoots him dead. Marco blames Adam for the mistake and tries to punch him. His hand slams into Adam's helmet, hurting himself. Furious, Marco removes his helmet and punches Adam's actual face. Taylor intervenes, but Marco strikes her too. Suddenly, the sergeant's voice echoes through the room, announcing he's holding the elevator door open. The team rushes to board. The elevator descends but stops abruptly. The doors barely open, so Marco forces a gap. When Adam tries to exit, Marco blocks him as punishment. Both end up trapped inside. The elevator continues to the third floor and closes behind them. Outside, they spot a crashed helicopter through the window. Marco forces Adam to lead the way. Adam manages to kill a terrorist but quickly runs out of ammunition. Marco keeps pushing him forward, using him as a human shield. While Marco hides, Adam is shot multiple times and dies within seconds. With only 15 minutes left, Marco suffers a breakdown but continues moving when the system announces the level is complete. Meanwhile, on the fourth floor, Shelley, Carl, and Edward regroup. They find a stash of weapons and begin sweeping the area. Suddenly, a terrorist throws a smoke grenade, triggering Carl's trauma. He stumbles back, overwhelmed by panic. Shelley rushes to his side. Carl confesses that the fire which gave him his scar also took his girlfriend's life. He blames himself for not saving her, and the smoke brings it all back. Shelley gently reassures him, reminding him that he's not alone and that they need to survive together. Her words calm him enough to keep moving. The trio pushes through several more levels, each one introducing new mechanics and challenges. Ammo runs low, and the tension rises. They finally reach the ground floor, battered and exhausted. While Shelley and Carl fend off enemies, Taylor, who had rejoined the group earlier, searches the area and finds a serum. Marco, who had survived the previous level, sneaks up behind her and demands the injection. Taylor refuses. Without hesitation, Marco shoots her. Carl arrives moments later. Marco pretends he's under attack, but Carl finds Taylor's body and sees she's written Marco's username in her own blood. Furious, Carl removes his helmet and attacks Marco in real life, kicking and choking him. Marco slams Carl against the wall and beats him down. Carl grabs a fire extinguisher and strikes back, but Marco kicks him away. Just as Marco prepares to shoot Carl, the sergeant appears and intervenes. He beats Marco mercilessly, then strangles him to death. With only minutes left, the remaining players, Carl, Shelley, and Edward, descend to the basement. The voice announces the final level. They grab new weapons and begin clearing the floor of terrorists. Every time they find an opening, more enemies appear. Carl throws a grenade, clearing a path. But a van screeches in, and a terrorist jumps out, shooting Carl. Shelley and Edward dive for cover. Carl searches for his serum. Shelley hears the countdown, 2 minutes remain, and rushes toward the bomb, only to be shot. Carl, wounded again, crawls to her and uses his serum to save her. He tells her to finish the mission and dies beside her. Edward fires a bazooka, killing the last enemy. He reaches the bomb and disables it with 1 second to spare. The sergeant appears, congratulating them. Edward begins repeating the sergeant's speech, revealing he was the company's mole all along. The simulation ends. Men in black enter, sedate Shelley, and begin cleaning up, removing bodies and wiping all player data from the server. The next morning, Shelley wakes up in her regular clothes. She sees Edward in a suit, overseeing the cleanup. He hands her the prize money. When she threatens to go to the authorities, he calmly tells her no one will believe her. A man approaches to sedate her again, but Shelley fights back. She injects him instead, steals his gun, and shoots out the parking lot lights. Edward sends his men after her, but Shelley, now hardened by the game, kills them all. When she confronts Edward, he begs for his life. She executes him without hesitation. Then, she walks away from the building, leaving the money behind.